I'll just go ahead. All right. My name is Seth, and today I'm going to be showing how to install a Bluetooth device into a transformer-powered radio. The victim today is a mid-50s Grundig. The reason that we started doing this is because I'll take a lot of these sets to our antique shows, and adding Bluetooth kind of circumvents the problem we're having with a lot of the more modern phones that don't have headphone jacks anymore. So the device I'm using is this little Bluetooth module and this little power cube, USB power cube. You can get these on Amazon for about $3 a piece. They work fine. I've been using them in my house now for about 2 years. So I've done some of the work on this to speed up the presentation a little bit. But the first thing that you'll want to do is you need to find the switchable power. You don't want this to be on the entire time the radio is plugged into the wall. So what I did is, I'm familiar with this particular set. This is the switch and this is the other end of the fuse. So I know that this side of the switch and this side of the fuse is switched. So when the power's off, it also turns that off. When you turn the set on, it will turn this power on. What I've done, and you can do this, use shrink wrap, or not shrink wrap, but heat shrink would probably be a little bit neater. But here I just use electrical tape and a zip cord to make sure the tape is completely snug around this end. This will be inside the set anyway, out of people's hands anyway. The next thing you need to do is establish where your audio, well, basically where your auxiliary input goes into. I know from looking on the back cover of the set that this is our phono input. Usually I go in through the phono input, and what you'll need to do is establish what is your negative and what is your positive. This being a mono set, you of course are not going to have stereo, but if you want true mono for your audio input cable, you can't just, some people will say, oh well, no big deal, just like twist your right and left channels together. That's not a good idea, because you can actually in turn damage your input device. So what I've done here is you'll want to put your right and left channels together through a set of 1,000 ohm resistors. This is going to be hard to see with your camera, but basically down here is your positive, over here is your negative chassis ground. So I've got my soldering iron heated up, and these German radios are a lot of fun because they're built in layers like this, so sometimes it's a little bit of almost like doing brain surgery to get your connections here. So now we've got positive, and now we need to do our negative ground. I'm going to have to use the pliers for this. Oh shoot, come on, get in there. Okay, so that's our negative. So now what I'll want to do is confirm that I have indeed hooked up the audio correctly. Because the speakers inside these German sets are a little cantankerous to hook back up, I've got just a regular old 8 ohm speaker hooked up here to the leads from the set. And now what I'm going to do is I've got a cheater cord. I'm going to run this through a isolation transformer, which we all should do anytime we're doing anything like this for safety. So now the set is on. I'm going to turn the set to the phono selection, and then I'm going to directly plug my phone in wherever it went. Here it is. Okay, so we know that audio is working. The next thing is to determine whether or not the Bluetooth module is working. So now what I want to do is go into my settings on my phone. All of these modules are called H163, and if you have several of them, they'll cancel each other out, so you'll need to forget the previous device you used, wait for this device to show up again. There it is. Paired. And now, I'm not going to put the radio back in the cabinet. This is the case here on the ground. But basically, when I'm done, I will glue the module into the side of the cabinet. Let me turn this off. Oh well. Ideally what you'd want to do is put the, you see I've got kind of a long wire here. You want to get that as far away from the radio as possible because you don't want the interference from the RF of the set. So what I'll do, and I'm not going to show you how to do this because it's going to take a lot of time, is I will use this clear glue. It's called Lexel. It's really sticky and really good for gluing just about anything to anything. I'll glue this module down inside the case, and just to make sure and double secure it after I glue it, I will use a zip tie and staple gun it to the case. So that's pretty much it. It's great because you can take any old radio, especially ones that have a transformer, and put a Bluetooth in it, and I find that the range on this is probably about 50 feet. So you can have it anywhere in the vicinity of your living room or whatever and use it all day long. So that's pretty much it.
Thank you, Seth. Thank you.